Hello people. Right, my previous video I said I was going to do an in-depth of cable, in-depth line analysis. Well, since that video I've had to rush my dog to the vets for an emergency appointment. She just started screaming in pain, couldn't console her, and quite frankly it was an awful experience. And she's okay now, she's been sedated, and apparently it was just, she probably, without me knowing it, spat out a painkiller. So horrid. Anyway, instead of doing the remainder of what I said would be part 2 of the cable thing, I'm going to see if I can find a trade. It's 2:20 in the afternoon, and initially when I got back I was just looking at this and I was about to do the analysis myself, and then I thought, why don't I make a video of it? So I don't like trading Swiss franc, as I've said many times before. So the next best thing, when I looked at this chart a moment ago, was Aussie dollar was fairly strong, and the US dollar was showing very weak. So with that in mind, a quick look at the Aussie dollar on the 4-hour chart tells me, and this is what I do when I get back from being away from the charts, look at the 4 hours of the daily and just quickly see what's happening. 4 hours are more useful intraday, like it is 2 o'clock in the afternoon now, because obviously the price is moving, and generally when price starts moving, if it's a trending day, it will be it will continue. So we've got 104 of today's range already done. Average daily range is 87, give or take, and we can clearly see from 6 a.m. the new 6 a.m. bar there, that was the close at 6 a.m. this was the close open at 6 a.m. We've broken out the high, and we've broken here, and we've broken there. So let's just start with the most obvious one at the moment. We've broken a ton of support here as it was coming up. It needed to break through that, so we can put that on. It's broken through these as well, so they can go on. When I say broken, I mean it's closed through them. If this had just been a great big spike here, then it would have these would have held as support, becoming resistance, but they've given way because it's closed through them. I hope that makes sense. Always ask questions, guys, if you need to, either on Twitter or via the comments on the YouTube. So now we can see what this has tested, and we've got other resistance levels above us, or support levels acting as potential resistance. Here, and that's about it. Not sure whether I put one on that one, so I'll double check. So yeah, I mean, now we go down the time frames, we can see what we've closed through, and we can see what price is up to. I hope that makes sense. This is interesting because this has now broken and closed through that, which is probably what this pullback is about here. So had I been around a bit earlier, we're now 24 minutes into the new 4-hour bar. There might have been a retracement trade available. We can look at that as we move down the time frames anyway. So if this price is reversing now because it's above its ADR, then these levels, old resistance levels broken, will become an issue as well. I hope that makes sense. So there's no more resistance levels below the price for this to potentially test. So now H1. Oh, just quickly look at the RSI histo alerts on both the, that's interesting as well. I should have started on the daily really, because it's a new chart to me. That would have been an important level. We've closed above it. That's a reversal to the long side. High, low, lower high, lower low, low, high, higher low, higher high. Keep singing the song until that level is broken, which would have been here. And that's why yesterday was a down day. Remember, old resistance broken here tends to get tested with a reversal to support. It gave way straight away. We've closed below that high as well, which is interesting, which makes possible shorts longer term. This could now just be, because this hasn't held as resistance, as support rather, it's immediately turned against itself and closed below it, effectively negating that. And it's closed below this yesterday and this yesterday. That's a really bearish bar there actually. And then look what happens when we get a bearish close on a daily. It tests it again. Fascinating, this one. In fact, so I don't normally trade Aussie dollar, but we've got a few things going on here as well. Obviously when this is coming back, these are old resistance levels that have been tested here, which is virtually where that one came back to eventually. And remember, I always talk about the most recent one on the left hand side, broken to the upside, is most likely the one that will come back and test. Then we've got this one here, and all these now are important on the daily chart, not for my short-term trading, but if these were closed below 2 as well, with a bar maybe tomorrow, then this will be very, very bearish indeed. These are going to cause problems with the down move, which we'll see on the lower time frames as well, which is why it's important, really, in my opinion, to draw them all in. And notice how that coincides, that support and that resistance there, and then once again it's been used as support. It's quite an important level, that one. So now RSI is quite strongly broken through the red RSI bar. Notice when we had the bust pull back, break and close above the high of that, price went up. You know, this is how you learn these things. I learn these things, I observe closely, and it's nice to have just pure lines and a superb indicator, and again pure lines. So we're always trading just lines. It's like trading I often use the phrase like trading stop lamps. What's the word? Traffic lights. You know, it's just simplifies things in my head. It might look complicated with all these lines on here, but the lower time frames will clarify things and give you gaps to trade to, using the trends on these candlesticks. You know, straightforward really. As it is a new chart, we should really check the weekly, going backwards at this, but I was only looking for a scalp, but we need to really have an idea what's going on. And we can clearly see that we had a massive reversal to the downside the minute that candle there was broken through. Low, high, high, low, high, high. High gets burst, so that's now the new high. This becomes the penultimate candle. This low is the one that's important to us. That needs to go onto the chart as well. And then it's come back and tested that low there. In all of this lot, it's failed to hold as support, acting as resistance. It's clearly closed through that. So the weekly is actually quite bullish, with this just being a pullback to the long side. In other words, we've closed through that support. It didn't hold as resistance. It did test it here and failed. They've given it another test, and it's actually won this time. And all this move today, or this week rather, is a pullback to a bullish move. Interesting. Previous month closed bullish, green bar on the RSI, so we might as well put a level on there while we're here. I really have done this back to arse about face today, excuse my French. Interesting. I love this stuff. I absolutely love it. What's going on over on the left hand side? There's a level there that should have been on the chart. That's been closed above there, pulled back down, and it's holding at the moment, although these closings suggest that we are still bullish, and we've got the bust and break on the daily. Oh, we've talked about that already. What's the monthly telling me? Bullish, yeah. Weekly, double check everything. Bullish with a pullback. Daily, bullish today, and we're bullish on the other two time frames. H4, closed bullish here, reversed to the long side. This was the actual reversal candle there. High, low, lower high, lower low. So it's closed above that. H1, smacking into that H4 level there. From 4 o'clock, which is actually 2 o'clock. H1 was bullish on the histo, but it's not closed yet. Half an hour. 30-minute. Now this is interesting, I like these. We've just closed on a 30-minute bar, and that was red. We've actually reversed to the downside on the 30-minute bar. High, low, lower high, lower low, against a low, high, high, low, higher high. Straight into support. If this had been all green bars, we would have been good to go potentially to the short side. We can actually do a ascending trend line, which is validated there, because this high has been broken by the price here, and as you can see, it's come back to touch that. All looking good. 15-minute has reversed down. Low, high, high, low, higher, high. High, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low. Close. That's the 15-minute there. So to go long, we need to reverse back against that 15-minute. Whoops, wrong colour. Needed to go on the bottom of that candle there. Green. So we've closed down, it's pulled back up to test it. It's tested it. That green line there. Tested it to the pip. No surprises there, if you watch my stuff. Not bullish now, but if we break and close above here on this 15 with the confirmation to the north side, which would be that candle there, high, low, lower, high, lower, low. This green candle needs to break and close above the high of that candle, that red one there. The high is 65226. If it combines with a break and close above the high of that, even better, and then I would expect this to go north again. So currently it's confirmed to the south side, down, but we need that M15 close up. 5-minute, oh, it's just updated itself, so 5-minute, and here's the trend you can see now: high, low, lower high, lower low, pull back. This is swing 1, 2, 3, swing 4, and then potentially swing 5 down, or swing 1, 2, 3, 5 fails to happen, and we just continue on up. We are below. The fact that we've confirmed on a 15-minute means we are below a level of support, as I talked about in yesterday's video. So that's it. I'm going to upload this one, and then we shall see what it does, because the video is getting too long.